Hey there, is Valentina Matthews, or better, Valentina Volpe. You will find out why on Three Count Podcast.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the Three Count Podcast presents Now Entering, and I'm your host, Clifford Red Dawg Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. And as always, with this being season 7 and our 400 and something episode, I would just hope you say it with me. I am your Sherpa. Because like your tribal chief, acknowledge me. But like every good Sherpa, you gotta pick someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficiently than you can. That's why it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring? Well, today we are going international to the land of Deutschland to visit our friend and first time on the show. We met on Discord, and thank you to Drew Gulak for introducing us. But her name is Valentina Matthews.
Hello there, by the ray of sunshine. It's me, always, the one and only, the Velvet Riot, Valentina Matthews. Hi, what's up?
What's up? So this is fun because we've had interviews with people from England, we've had interviews with people from Canada, we've had interviews from people from Mexico. You're our first guest to be from Germany. Yeah, on the show.
But I have to correct you, I might be the very first Italian guest.
You will definitely be the first Italian guest. First Italian. Yeah. It's just like straight from Italy. Yes, you are that person. But then also you're recording from Germany. Like we're literally in a train right now. Just traveling.
Yeah, yeah, basically, when you forget some stuff to do, then you just say, you know what? I have an interview. You know what? I just take my pal Red Dog with me. So, and maybe he can work with me. He can wander with me year round Hanover.
Yo, so all right. So let's have some fun. Let's talk about this because this is it's such a great thing to be able to talk to people who are internationally getting into the business and working in the business. And so I'm just curious, what made you want to get into the business?
Well, everything happened when I was like a little girl. So basically, I used to watch wrestling with my dad when 2003, and I remember he used to bring home some old DVDs of some old WrestleManias, and I remember the one that stuck in my head was WrestleMania 3, and the match was not a main event. It was not Macho Man against Ricky Steamboat, but actually it was Roddy Piper versus Adrian Adonis, hair versus hair match. But that was not a reason that made me say, okay, I want to be a wrestler. Nope. Actually, this happened in 2004. It was basically summer 2004, and at the time, I was always watching at my aunt's house, was always there. Like, that was the schedule. My aunt's house after school. We watched telenovelas, we watched Ultimate Muscle, and then she turned on Monday Night Raw. So basically, at the time, there was Evolution at the time, and of course, there was the storyline of Eugene. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch it, and it was August, and a person came out cutting one of his best promos of his career. A lot of people say all the same thing is his best promo of his career. And then they had like a small match, small but bloody, that ended in a DQ. And of course, I'm talking about William Regal. William Regal is the reason why I decided to be a professional wrestler myself.
Yeah, William Regal is one of those guys who fills tons of roles. Like he's a bad guy, like he's a heel, but he's always like he can be comedic, he can be serious, he can be like your best friend, he can be the leader. Like it's so crazy all the roles that man can fill.
hmm It's not just that because uh, William Regal became for me not just the person that basically made me say, okay, I want to be a professional wrestler. He still nowadays belong to one of my main objectives in this business, basically. But even he inspires me a lot, not just as a wrestler, but even on the human side. There, there's a lot of reasons why I actually admire him, and the story can go pretty deep. So, but it's too early to say that, to say the whole story.
Is it though? Is it too early to tell the story of like how great William Regal is and why he inspires you?
Not in that sense. I mean, the the I mean, it's a different reason because it also has something to do even with my everyday life, with my life story, basically.
Hmm. Okay. So, who are some of the other wrestlers that inspired you to develop you in the business?
Well, I have to say, other people that basically inspires me a lot. Yeah, there are people like McIntyre, Barrett. Like I love them how badass they are. There are even people like, for example, like um, like Pete Dunne, for example, or Tyler Bates. But and even I forgot one name. One person is also Charlie Dempsey, basically, and that's another story because basically when I was like 16 years old, I had to give up on my dreams of being a professional wrestler. And let's say when I saw him in 2021, because I really heard the rumors from people, hey, you heard William Regal became a wrestler, people, and I was like, okay, I'm not, even if it's true, I am not surprised at all. Then I saw him 2021 against Tyler Bates, his debut in NXT UK, and I was like, damn, he's doing what I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was not having an easy time because I was in a very abusive relationship, basically. And my ex fiance at the time basically put me down and everything. My parents supported him, and yeah. And when I saw Dempsey, I was like, I was feeling the same flame, same blaze I felt when I saw his dad, basically, when I was a kid. But the blaze started to a blaze when I met my actual mentor, which I love so much. He's like a father to me, and I always this guy a lot. And he's my coach actually too. And I'm talking about Joey Legend. And I remember when I met him, it was the first serious sports entertainment show. That's the promotion of a female Jessie Gabbard. That was where I met my mentor, and I remember when I met him, we were talking, and I said, "Yeah, I dream to be a wrestler, but it's too late." I was whining, and he said, "Who the fuck told you it's too late? It's never too late because if it's something you really want, then you do everything for it." And here I am. Here I am after 4 years.
Yeah, no, it's funny because like I kind of so I've grown up around wrestling like my whole life, right? Like since I was a kid, like it's been in my whole life. And I remember like graduating from I was in the US military and I graduated from college and
Yeah, because in my case, the problem was my parents never approved the fact that I wanted to be a professional wrestler.
yeah.
And well, my dad, okay, he likes wrestling. He still watches it, actually, which surprises me. He still do. But my mom, she was always against it. But
Yeah,
the problem is with my parents, there are actually other stuff going on that I want to mention. I don't want to get too vulnerable, but it could trigger people. But let's say it was stuff that should have happened, and
yeah. No,
it, it took years to talk again.
I got you. So hold on, let me get this straight. So in three, two, one. So yeah, so you going through kind of this journey being told you thought that you were like too old. I kind of felt the same way. So I got out the military, and then I graduated from college, and I was like, mind you, you don't know this, so I'm gonna just be open with it. I'm 40. I started wrestling when I was 34. So I was like, I am way too old to get into this, and all I wanted to do was just be in a professional ring. So I got in, and it's funny because like Drew Black was like, you know, this is a young man's sport, right? I'm like, yep. He's like, all right, well, if you're having fun doing your thing, keep going, keep pushing for it. He's like, he was telling me about how his school at Catch Point, they have a bunch of different like age wrestlers that they train. And he was like, "Oh, you got it, dude. Just keep going. Just keep pushing for it." And I was like, "All right, I got Drew Gulak support. This is gonna be fun. Let's keep going. So we can fix this."
True, I have to say, is an awesome man, awesome human. I can't say anything about him.
Yeah, yeah,
Like about age, I can feel you because when I first started was in 2023. I started my training was after I broke up from my ex fiance at the time, my abusive ex fiance. When I first started, I always felt like old. I'm too old. I'm too old. And I remember that that was my very first wrestling show I ever saw all my life. I never saw a wrestling. Never saw wrestling live. Never. Never. I went because I used to watch NXT UK a lot as a fan. I mentioned NXT UK because I mentioned Charlie Dempsey, and but at the time, like 2020 was 2022, they were even at the time he still have the ring name Teoman, and but now he goes by his real name Metehan, which is I know the guy is also awesome guy, awesome backstage, awesome in person, and he's acting partner in the stable Di Famiglia, Rohan Raja. And I remember when I met them, I started talking about training and everything, and I started to ask Rohan for advices, and he said, "Look, it's better that you start late and not that you start early, like really young.
yeah,
There is like a pro and contra on everything, on starting young or, or starting late."
yeah. And I think the best part about like starting kind of older is that while your bump card, you have your bump card still, and so you got to be careful about how many bumps you really start taking. You kind of appreciate like, hey, I don't want to do like all the crazy things that young people will do because you can save your body a little bit and you can wrestle differently and you can tell. I don't want to say it's not fair to say better stories, but you're just kind of aware of what's going on, and you can kind of adapt and blend your style with somebody else's style. Where I think if you are a little younger, you have a little less fear in you, you're willing to do some things that most people wouldn't really do.
I would say it's more about that when you're young, you're more tender and you get easily injured as uh, differently than when you're older.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So tell me about you. So born in Italy, right? And traveled currently in Deutschland. What what made you move up that way?
So basically, I moved to Germany 13 years ago because my father basically grew up here in Germany. He came to Germany in the late in the late 80s because my so There is a thing here, like in Germany, Switzerland. They are called Gastarbeit, basically guest worker. And my grandma with her sister basically used to work in Switzerland. Then they moved to Germany, and after my father was born, basically she left him for 8 years at her parents, and then after 8 years, she came back to Italy. Say, I'm taking Massimo with me, and she took him to Germany, where basically he grew up. And then was the time when before I was born in 1999. Basically, he asked my mom, "Hey, wanna come to Germany? Wanna go to Germany? Wanna go to Germany?" And she was like, "Nah, I don't know. I don't know." Basically, she refused all the time. And now she says, my mom, she says always, "I regret I didn't do it sooner."
Mm,
But I have to say it's better it went out like that, because now I can because if it didn't happen, like if it didn't happen now, I would have started to watch wrestling and I wouldn't be here.
right. Well,
So
and the best
I'm
part,
grateful.
and things happen for a reason. I know, like for me, a lot of the stuff that was going on with me was that I was always traveling. Like as far as like I was in the military, so I traveled a lot, and then when I joined the military myself, like I had to travel even more. And then when I got out, I just kind of moved from place to place to place. So to me, like everything happens for a reason, but then you land in the spots that you land in because like something like fate kind of sets you in that spot. And so it's kind of cool to see someone like growing up, like obviously having one lifestyle, move to an entire area, another area, and just watch like, oh yeah, this person's gonna continue to grow in the field that they're excited about. So it's cool to see someone who's very passionate about wrestling want to do more in wrestling. And then now you're in Germany. You want to do more stuff in wrestling in Germany.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people say, Valentina, you represent Italy in Germany, which actually I'm not alone, because with me lives another wrestler who basically he's trained at Blackback, and he represents Italy in Germany for the men. And I'm talking about Sam Della Valle, which is also a name because, as I said, he trained in Florida to prospect with Sean Spears and
Celebrate.
Tyler Breeze, yeah. And then he came back, and then he came back to Italy. And now he's starting making a name. So, but not only him, because if we go to other countries like Ireland or if we go to Japan, we have, for example, if we go to Ireland, about Italians in Ireland, I say Bittersweet Josh, also amazing worker, amazing guy, and uh, and then Japan. If you watch the Japan, of course, I say the member of United Empire, Francesco Akira, will now just resign with the Japan, basically.
Yeah. No, solid worker, solid wrestler too. Especially when you get recognized into like the United Empire. Like it's crazy to think about like how much of a noise that you have to make to be associated with the United Empire because look at the names that have been associated with them: Mark Gable, Triple H, Will Ospreay, TJ Perry. There's so
Tell
many.
Newman now.
Yeah, everybody.
Now Andrade is also in.
Yeah, it's so crazy to think about like all the workers that have been in the empire and now are blossoming like in the United States. It's crazy to me.
True, true.
So talk to me more about you. What are your goals, your ambitions? What are you trying to accomplish while you're in the business?
So, uh, basically, uh, my why for me is that I can one day if there is a child or a girl who lives hardships, like hardships I don't want to mention, but hardships. I want them to see me and say, okay, if she made it, I want to make it too. I want to inspire people. I want to do the same. I want to do the same thing. I want to be. I will do the same thing that happened to me when I was 5 years old. Basically.
This that's such a powerful thing because I feel like a lot of us we get into the business because like we're all fans of it, but then we all have like a secondary reason of like why we wanted to be in it, right? I grew up in a small town in the middle of Nebraska, which is in the middle of the United States, and like I was trying to figure out like what I wanted to do, and then learn to kind of carve my own path. And when I joined the military, obviously I had to leave my town, and we're on the East Coast. So from there, it became like, how can I inspire these kids who wanted to do what I'm doing? And for me, I always wanted to be a pro wrestler. I had always dreamt about it. I was always watching it. I kept learning. And also, to finally get that opportunity and tell people, like, look, this is how far I've gone, and I'm going further. And you guys can do it too. So you have to be able to be willing to put the work in one time, and you'll get to where you need to get to. But just put the work in, and I promise you, it'll pay off.
Yeah, it's not just that. Like, of course, there are other objectives I have in the business that I can say, but but uh, my ex, who's also a wrestler, used to say, "Don't forget, you must have a why you do that."
Yeah. Yep. The
It-
why has to matter.
yeah, and for me, the fans, the people, the girls who are scared and who makes themselves small. For me, they are my why because I don't want them to be small because I'm always been told be small, stay silent, don't do anything. And now I'm learning now, like I not even before, but now stay silent anymore.
Yeah. No. I'm always reminded by this phrase that you were born big, so don't live big. And
Yeah,
it's such an accurate thing to like listen to and think about. Like as a person, like we're meant to change things, and we're the only we're not to get in too deep with this, but we're the only species that doesn't change. We change everything around us. We physically change everything to make it work for us. So why would we want to sit back and be small and not be heard? If that's what we're meant to do. So we have to be that catalyst.
exactly.
Yo, so let me do this because I want to have some fun with this, and this is always fun for me. We're gonna pop into my favorite part of the Three Count podcast, which is called the Three Count Podcast 10 Count Question.
Okay.
Okay, so what's gonna happen, Ms. Matthews, is I'm gonna fire off 10 questions at you rapid fast, and whatever your answer is, that is your answer.
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna
ouch.
have some fun. So we're gonna
Okay.
put on the imaginary timer for added pressure. And in the words of my favorite commentator, Mike Goldberg, before we go, favorite movie of all time.
Oh, that's very hard. Hmm. I would say The Crow.
It's a good pick.
Then 1994, the one with with Brandon Lee as Eric Draven.
I need people to understand, okay? Like full transparency. That is my favorite movie of all time. Like The Crow is one of the greatest movies ever made. I don't know anybody who will not say that. But it's like it's so crazy because the story was so beautifully told, and it all felt so magical that it's just unheard. Like I love that movie. That Brandon Lee is amazing in the movie up until his death. Rest in peace. But yeah, I think Pro definitely one of the greatest movies of all time. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Favorite cartoon growing up.
Oh, that's very hard. That's very hard because I have two in my mind. I would say Ed, Eddie.
All right. If you could live in any TV show universe, which one would it be?
TV show universe. I am crazy. Yeah, you would say I am. You would say you're crazy to say that. You say you're crazy to say that because I know it. I know it sucks. It sucks. It sucks very hard. To be honest, I know that, but but I just love it. Even because my favorite actor is also there. So I would say, well, it's hard because it's one answer and I can change. Damn, that's hard. Because this one is risky. This series is very risky.
Yeah, yeah.
I say, come on, I say shameless.
Shameless. That's a good pick though. Like that's a crazy universe to want to live in, but yeah, that's as real as it gets though. Like
It's like crazy shit, but because there is one of the characters there who is basically played by my favorite actor that is some things it reflects me.
but
So
Emmy Rossum is so good in that show. She's such a sweetheart and amazing talented actress. So I like that call. Are you an
yeah,
anime or an sitcom person?
anime.
Anime. Apple or Android?
I prefer the Apple phone, so Apple.
Favorite video game of all time?
Okay, it's hard, very hard. But I say Yakuza Zero.
Yakuza Zero is so good. Yes, I
I cried. I cried my eyes out.
it's such a strong tool. Uh, theme song that you know every word to.
Oh, I can say everyone, but okay, very hard. That's hard because there's a lot of theme songs. I know all the words. I would say Love, Fury, Passion, Energy by Boy His Car. That would be the theme song of Lita.
Got you. All right. So if you had a soundtrack right now, what song is playing?
A soundtrack right
Yeah,
now.
soundtrack to your life. If your life had a soundtrack, what song is playing?
Wow. Okay, that's very hard. But I would say Rock and Roll Star by Oasis.
That's a great pick. Oasis is such a strong candidate. I like it. All right. Last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person who comes on this show: favorite curse word.
Ooh, okay, okay. I speak four languages, okay? So I have to choose the language.
Hmm.
Has to be one, just one, no matter the language, or has to be one for each language.
You know what? Let's let you pick that because the fact that you speak four languages, you should definitely get one in each language.
So I will start with Spanish, okay? I don't know. I start with Italian because of my language. Ma porca troia. Porca troia. That's my favorite first word in Italian.
What does that mean?
Porca troia is Troia is the whore.
Nice.
Porca is like they could say holy fuck, holy shit. It's an exclamation.
Nice. I like it.
The second is German. Okay, that would be funny because I am in a shopping center right now,
Yeah.
which is it will make saying a curse word in German would make everybody turn around. So, in German, um, um, Hurensohn. That would be son of a bitch.
Nice. I like that.
Um, then English, of course. Mm, I would go for bloody hell.
Bloody hell is a good.
Ah,
That is
I
such a
go for.
Queen's. That's such a Queen's English bad like curse word to say.
I speak the Queen English, so bloody hell it is.
What about in Spanish though?
Mm. It's hard because I know curse words in Castilian Spanish because of my ex. I know Mexican Spanish and so on, and even Latino Spanish. Wow, that's pretty hard. But lately, there is one word I always use at work because I have colleagues who are basically from Latin America. And one time, my coworker did something so stupid, and I went behind the webcam with a piece of paper and wrote "verga,
America. Yeah.
verga, mama verga."
Yes. That's such a great pick. Yo, these are great picks right here. You guys are getting a lesson in languages, and you didn't even know that. So now you guys can use these languages to pretend you're hurting somebody else. Listen, like those are all my questions I have for you. I want to thank you again for coming on the show. And the one thing I want you to do is to let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you on social media.
Well, my guys, I am on the verge of changing ring name because I debuted as Valentina Matthews, but I think something is missing. Of course, from Valentina Matthews, I am going to be Valentina Volpe, which means fox. And since you saw me wandering around the whole city of Hanover, so you can find me as Nomad Volpe on Instagram and of course on X.
Yeah. So she told you about her new name that she's debuting. She's also told you about where you can find her online. So if you guys want to give her all the likes, give her all the follows, give her all the comments because she deserves it. So what does that mean? Like every great part of a wrestling match, and our favorite part of a wrestling match, we gotta take this home. This is the Three Count Podcast presented now by me. I'm your host, Mr. Red Dawg Miller, the man that you just had on the go wrestling. And like every good show, it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring? Yes, sir, right there. Entering home, entering fairly homed. Valentina Volpe, you guys are be good to follow and be there, or you're literally subscribed to our YouTube channel. You give the likes, the comments, the shares. You're even checking us out on all of our social media platforms. You're even listening to us on Spotify. You're listening to us on Amazon Music. You're listening to us on that dumb Apple thing that goes iHeart Radio or whatever it is. You're leaving us 5-star blog slash reviews on Apple Podcasts. You're checking out our merch on ProWrestlingTees.com. You're checking out our website, WarriorWear.com. You want all the gear you guys want. You're telling your mom about it, your dad about it, your aunties, your uncles, brothers, your husbands, your wives, your grandmas, your grandpas. You're even telling your best friends or your enemies because let's be real, haters hate. You know that responsibility. You're just about to hear that episode end with the outro. Giving another episode to listen to. Peace.
Yes, baby.
What's up? It is your friendly neighborhood Red Dawg, and thank you for checking out this episode of the 3 Count Podcast. Whether that was Chaz friends, Red Dawg friends, Damien friends, the film styles, now into the ring, now entering 201, or now returning to the ring, all those good episodes. You should really be liking, commenting, and even sharing this with your friends, family, whoever it may be. But what you all should be doing is checking us out on all of our social media platforms at 3 Count Pod. Whether that's on IG, Twitch, you can check us out on Threads, whatever it may be. And if you go check us out on X, it is 3count_pod. Check us out on YouTube, as well as Facebook, on Rumble, on Apple Music, on Spotify. All those fun things. Tell your mom about us, your dad about us, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, and your best friends and your enemies, because we love haters too. Do all that stuff. And then, last but not least, buy our merch on foryourwear.com or prowrestlingtees.com. Kawaii.